Sky Squad, we are back in the building. And we got to talk about love and hip hop. Oh, yes. We're talking love and hip hop, but we're also talking a little bit of news with regards to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. All right. So we're going to be talking about something that I want to get you guys' opinion on because it feels like something that's maybe not appropriate, but I gotta get your thoughts. And then we gotta talk about Spice versus Tamar and then the episode. All right. So let's get into the first bit of news that we gotta talk about. All right. So Kenya Moore is reacting to basically one of the Real Housewives of Atlanta showrunners liking a shady post that Marlo made about her. All right. So the person in question is showrunner Eric Fuller. All right. Now, for those of you guys who, well, we'll get to exactly who he is in a minute. Let's go to the post in question that was liked. All right. So we talked about this yesterday. Marlo posted, and this can be found on the Bravo Shade Room. Looks like y'all fave fell flat tonight. From her outfit to her tired reads, blank fake subpoena, which I did feel like that fell flat to me. Okay. At least the presentation of it fell flat. And still not open salon, blaming production for her lack of story. Now, she has blamed production or alluded to production being at fault for her lack of story that she's gotten or elements of her story being put into the show. All right. Now, this came after the reunion, of course. And someone managed to get a screen recording of the showrunner of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, who also happens to be a showrunner for the Real Housewives of Potomac, liking the post. And the question is, where else do you see executives doing stuff like this? Then the person wrote they want to be messy queen so bad. And so as you guys can see, that one of those people that liked the post was Eric Fuller. All right. So when Kenya Moore got a hold to this, or at least she commented on it or retweeted it or whatever, she wrote, wow. Okay. Because the person also wrote, Eric Fuller not even hiding it no more. Look at him liking this post on IG with Marlo shading Kenya. Wow, this is so unprofessional. All right, so let's talk about it. For those of you guys who do not recall, I'm going to bring up another post really quickly from our friends over at Queens of Bravo. Now, this post, we talked about it, I think it was last week, when we had gotten the word that there could potentially, that producers of Atlanta were potentially requesting a reboot for the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And then, of course, there were things that Kenya Moore complained about not being included, like her salon opening. And then people started, looking up the producers and showrunners and that sort of thing and making threats to them, which we do not condone, right? On any level, right? You may have a problem with production or a perceived problem with production, but guys, it's never okay to put the threats on them. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he says, I'm not an editor. I don't make casting decisions. I don't choose what scenes make it or not. If you're going to come for me for what I'm responsible for. Last week, I said that I would have preferred if he at least elaborated on what he is responsible for, because for a lot of us, a showrunner, usually seem like they have more responsibilities than what he's alluding to. That's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the actual post and the liking of it, Kenya Moore's response, and how we feel about it. Now, for me personally, producers are human too. All right, so let's first start there. And you know, I can understand that he may feel a certain type of way about Kenya Moore's comments and may even have taken them personally. I think that that's a natural response, especially if he feels like he didn't have anything to do with those decisions, or if he felt like she was coming for him. However, what you don't want to do, I feel like, as a showrunner, and I'm not a showrunner. I'm only talking to you as someone in any business setting. I would imagine similar to this. As the showrunner or as a producer, while it may be true that you have your favorites or you don't have your favorites, I don't really know. You probably don't want to be seen as you kind of want to be above it all, professionally speaking. There's a human aspect where he can like whatever he wants to like. He can, feel however he wants to feel because he's entitled to that. However, public facing, I don't know that I would have done this. I don't know that I would have liked that tweet. I mean, or that Instagram post. I mean, that might be something that you might want to say for your Finsta if you got one. You know what I'm saying? Um, and who really has time to develop a Finsta? But at the end of the day, I feel like you kind of want to always be like, I mean, I don't know. This is just me. I'm just thinking you might want to be seen as like, I'm above all this. I'm working, I'm producing, I got things to do. Cause I'm assuming that's what showrunners are doing. They working, right? Um, Let me know what you guys think about it. Like I said, he has a right to his opinion. He has a right to feel what he feels. Nobody can take that away from him. It is just about what is protocol and what is maybe not. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. The next thing we got to talk about is
I'm disappointed.
the clip. Spice versus Tamar. This occurred, I believe was it after last night's episode or before last night's episode? Let me know in the chatterization if I happen to catch the end of this live. Thanks to our friends over at the Reality Rundown, who also picked up this clip from Live Bites. I combined this with my own screen recording towards the end, which you will see a little bit of a difference. We're gonna get into this discussion that they had because I think it's interesting, and I think it dives further deeper into the issues that some people have with Spice with regards to this situation. And let me start off by saying I still don't believe in any way, shape, or form that Erica had any right to call her what she called her, because I feel like it's a slap in our faces. Okay. Number one, let me say that. But I also want to acknowledge that for me, I feel like Spice was also wrong. Now, I definitely think that Erica, to me, what she said, intolerable. Like we need to be done with that. But Spice, there's some things that she won't acknowledge, and we'll talk about that. So let's get into it.
Know why I'm disappointed or I felt disappointed?
She said,
I felt offended because you have my number.
Because you have to understand, on our show, Dish Nation, they showed the clip of the fight, the small clip of the fight. I said, if somebody talked about my son, all bets is off. Somebody said my son don't love me. I swear to God, I'm a single mother, so my whole is completely different. You know what I'm saying? If somebody says something crazy about my son, I'm not even going to think about what I say. And I said, but I'm Team Spice. Jessie said, what did she say? Jessie said something like, yeah, but Erica, it been like...
Erica has said something like that before. People have talked about Erica kids before.
When I mentioned your name tonight,
all right, so if you've seen a couple of Spice's other lives, and I would play them, and because and what I'm gonna say is gonna get into why I have a couple of thoughts, but there have been other videos and lives where Spice has mentioned this idea that people have talked about Erica's child before on the show, and on other shows, and they've mentioned this same thing. Erica has mentioned on the episode that Safari uses this against her when he wants to, when he's challenging her about her calling him a deadbeat dad, then he uses that against her as well. And so for me, I understand where Tamar is coming from in that Spice is saying that, oh, well, other people are saying this about her as well. So she's heard this before. I think that at the end of the day, woman to woman, potentially, I don't know. It may be a different feeling when their conversation didn't have to go in that direction. That was something that Spice brought into it. Oh, your son that doesn't like you, your son that hates you. Tamar is correct. I mean, a lot of women would respond the same way, and I feel like Spice is being willfully ignorant to the fact that you said something, you did something too. Now, what you did was not as bad as what Erica did, but you were a participant in both of y'all going low. But then Erica, as I'll continue to acknowledge, she went to a different place. Okay. The point is that they both went low. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like Spice doesn't really want to acknowledge that.
I was going to say I was disappointed in Tamar because her comment made me realize that she don't even watch the show to be commenting on it, because it's obvious that you...
Yeah, but y'all got to understand, I'm not commenting because I ain't got shit else to do. I'm on a TV show.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And,
but we both are.
Wait, my job is to commentate. And let me tell you something. I'm a responsible journalist. A lot of people say, oh, she's not a journalist. I got 5 Emmy nominations.
Let's talk about it. And I have a Grammy nomination. Let's talk about it.
Reality Emmy. I got 5 television talk show Emmys to back that up. I don't watch that show. We've talked about that. My job is to comment on what is being reported.
But you know how you say your job is to comment on what is being talked about? Yeah. My job in Love and Hip Hop is to talk about what is happening at a certain situation. And that was what was being talked about.
But I'm not negating that, Spice.
I'm not saying anything bad about Erica's son.
Okay, but you can't take that with Tamar.
That's the part that I'm getting at. She is saying that she's not saying anything bad about his son, but he's still catching a stray, right? So your comment is really geared towards Erica and Erica's parenting. But in the end, the son still catches the stray because he's involved in that. Does that make sense to anybody? And I don't even have kids, and I feel that. And that to me is interesting because Spice has kids. So it's a technicality that she's using here, but it still means something.
Oh, you gotta take.
And again, please do not mistake me saying that this justifies Erica saying what she said, because it does. Nothing justifies that. My whole point is that, you know, I wish that Spice would just be able to acknowledge, you know, I probably shouldn't have said that about her son. I shouldn't have brought her son into it.
That will moan at her people.
No,
because I didn't do that. No. I don't agree with Erica calling you no monkey. I think that's some real bullshit. I don't give a fuck if at the end of the day somebody did talk about your child. The first thing you should jump to is something racist. I don't believe in that. I don't believe. No. Can you stop? Move on, please.
We right here with you.
I just don't. I don't agree with it.
Right.
I don't agree with it. So I don't give a damn what that clip said. Y'all gonna look for that shit for yourself. I'll put it in my story.
Hey, and Anthony Loftus was waving in the when I hopped on the live, and I don't know if I hit the button back or not because I was trying to figure out how to do it correctly. But hey, Anthony,
you to put it in your story. I would never talk derogatory about you. I love you to pieces. You know how I feel about you.
And
I
know I love you too. That's why I was like, Tamar, you have my number. What is this I woke up to? And I was so broken, but I love you.
I love you.
You know how I feel about you.
What I love in this situation is they were able to talk through whatever differences they apparently had. I guess something Tamar had said had rubbed Spice the wrong way. So what I love to see is this. They hopped on a live and they just had it out and then they talked it through. So this is something I do like. And not to mention, I like Spice. I like Spice a lot. I love her music. I like the fact that she brings an energy to the show. That energy is sometimes a little bit. She be like, I want to be Zen, and I'm like, girl, you ain't always the Zenest person, okay? But beyond that, I do like Spice. I just think that she could also too acknowledge that she was wrong for saying that part of in their argument. That's all I'm saying. So let's get into the episode. All right. And I apologize, but we had to get through the news first, and I really wanted to talk about those two things. The episode is called it's season 11 of 11 Hip Hop. Episode 13 is called Tropic Thunderdome. We see Bambi beginning the episode in her. Let me see what I rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. I would rate it maybe like a 8, a 9, maybe. It was a bit, I mean, it moved very, very fast. I will say that. So I did like that. There was a lot going on. There was a lot that I realized in this episode. And so we'll get right into it. A Bambi single release party for her song "Do Right by Me." What I realized, this song is very ABCDEFG, do right by me. I mean, it was given nursery rhyme, but in this day and age, I feel like it could be perfect for one of for the TikTok generations and things like that, and for repeatability, the repeatability factor. And it could, it's one of those songs that maybe women could relate to, although I don't. It seems as though not a lot of women, when I look at the comments, really relate to Bambi for some reason, and I'm still not quite sure what about her doesn't translate well to a lot of you guys. So let me know in the chatterization. Chaotic is there, and Amy is questioning if he wants Bambi now. Okay. I'm like, girl, like for somebody that claims to not be interested and to have friend zoned him like he was auto zone, you should still be worried about who he want and who he don't want or whatever like that. But I do like Amy. That's something I discovered. I like Amy on this show. We'll see how that continues to play out. Because she's active. Kirk, Rashida, Yandy, and Mendices all head to the mountains, and they got a nice charcuterie board or whatever. Kirk is throwing a pajama jam for Rashida's birthday, and Kirk says, "No crazy people." All right. But Rashida wants Spice there, so apparently Erica can't come, right? We learned that the table that Erica threw went into Spice's stomach, which we know has issues. And it got back to them that Erica called Spice a black monkey. Now, I don't know for you whether or not the black monkey has a different connotation than the specifics of the blue monkey, because when I hear black monkey, then I can definitely see why it provided an extra burst of angst for the cast. I know that the blue monkey was specifically meant for Spice, but then she called her monkey and other and just monkey, and it was just all kinds of wrong. And then I think she was some of you guys even pointed out she was making sounds. Girl, no. So they all got an issue, and rightfully so, because they're wondering, as I wondered, does she see us all as black monkeys? Okay, because for me, I feel like one of the things that has worked for Erica's benefit is that she has been embraced by this love and hip hop culture, the love and hip hop fan base, and I do feel like for your two of your best friends on the show at that point in time to also be black, for you to have been married to a black man and to have kids who are black, for you to use that language or to even still think in those terms, it just often reminds me that sometimes, we in the culture will accept, other people who resemble us in terms of the black and brown color spectrum, we will embrace people who fall into those categories, but then sometimes realize harshly that, oh, we're still looked down upon as the black people. You know what I'm saying? And that to me is where I find myself now with Erica Mena. Like, oh, here we all were, welcoming and embracing you, but this is what you are thinking of us. And the irony is that you are on a network called All Black, okay? You're shooting season 2 of a show on a network called All Black, but you are out here raging and calling a black woman, okay, who, when you look at the demographics for the shows, for the network, for, a lot of the channels that talk about these shows, specifically, you're talking about a large demographic of people. So now everybody's getting the strays, right? Whereas, with the Spice situation and her bringing up the son caught the stray. It was aimed at Erica, but the son catches the stray. But Erica, you were aiming at Spice, but we all caught it. Okay. And we just, I think that, that level of blatant, it's just unacceptable. But I have to say that time and time again, because I know somebody's gonna miss it. So they want Sierra and Bambi to hold Erica accountable for her words, and Yandy also wants to have a conversation with Erica. Now, it's interesting to me that later on, it seems as though the onus of having that conversation will be on Bambi and Sierra. And maybe it's because they close friends, but I'll get to that in a second. Erica, like I said, is shooting season 2 of Hush on All Black, and apparently Spice has been subbing her and going live. It's ironic that during that particular live, if you ever saw that live, Spice has said that Erica was mad that this was Bambi's season. And then it was interesting to see that as she's saying that, right after that, you will notice that Spice and Bambi end up getting into it, which is just kind of odd that she's claiming that Erica is mad that this is Bambi's season in that live. If you can go back to that live, you can see what I'm saying. They played a portion of it last night. So anyway, we learned that Erica, Safari's go-to insult to her was that the son hated Erica. But for Erica, it seems as though the son just did not want to be in the spotlight, right? So she also says she realized she said some things that came from an angry, dark place, and she needs to take accountability for it. And it's interesting to me because I'm like, we didn't even get her accountability in her confessional. There's been a lot of talk about whether or not VH1 should have aired, not VH1, but MTV should have aired this or not. And my question to you guys is this, because I'm on the fence about it. If they had not aired Erica saying this, would you, like Sierra and like Bambi, if you are a fan of Erica's, would you have believed that she ever said it? So for a lot of people, they feel like, well, MTV shouldn't have never aired that. They're responsible for this. And a part of me thinking about reality TV is that you follow the reality. And we follow the reality of what happens, whether it's good or bad, right? And I guess that would really depend on how bad it was. And I often talk about watching trauma as entertainment. However, if they are utilizing this moment to try to make it edutainment or turn this into a conversation, then that could be a different thing. Would you have preferred that MTV not have aired Erica saying that and immediately fired her? If they had done that, would you have believed that it happened, or would you have wanted to see it for yourself? If you recall, I remember watching College Hill, and this is season 2, and Amber and Jocelyn getting into it. One of the things that had been promoted in the trailer was this altercation, but we did not get to see the altercation. Now, I'm sure it had to do with the fact that it was on the university premises. And so I know that they would not allow that to be shown. But I wonder if it had been in the house, if we would have seen it, right? But I still remember the feeling of like, I kind of would have liked to have seen it, even though I don't condone that type of behavior. The human part of me, and I'm not afraid to admit that, really kind of wanted to see it because I wanted to see for myself how it played out, the way that the cast saw it play out. So I'm in an interesting space with whether or not I feel like they should have shown it. I want to know from you, based on what I'm saying here, would you have preferred them not have shown it, or would you have preferred them to show it? Let me know in the chat. All right. It's the night of Rashida's party. Spice arrives, and Spice is adamant throughout this episode she don't want no bad vibes. But it always feels to me like, as she's saying she doesn't want no bad vibes, she is yet and still giving people like the cold shoulder, even like in anticipation of, right? So, for instance, Sierra arrives, Spice gives her the cold shoulder. Because Sierra's like, well, my birthday was yesterday. Nobody wished me happy birthday or anything like that. And Spice, we normally do that. Spice is in her mind saying that, oh, well, she's going to take Erica's side because that's her, that's her friend. Well, didn't y'all have a friendship too? Like, so why is it that if you don't want no bad vibes, like, embrace your girl? Like, if that's really your girl, unless you just never believed that she was, if so, then indicate that. So Sierra has to kind of call her out. And then they talk about, the version that Erica gave Sierra. And in the version of the story that Erica gave Sierra, it was without the monkey element. And so I could see, if I'm Sierra hearing this, oh, you sound like y'all both wrong. Once Sierra hears that monkey part, I did not, it looked genuine to me when she heard it, that was like left out of the conversation or omitted. And even Erica herself claims to not remember that, although I find that hard to believe with as many times as she said it, okay? Because she said it several times with her chest out, all right? Eric and Spice is adamant that she wasn't saying anything bad about Erica's child. And I'm like, Spice, please stop that. I mean, just if you can own that, at least, because it still doesn't justify what Erica said, but you can own you can own that you probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway, Kirk announces that, oh, Carly is there. She's gonna avoid Spice. I feel like I like Carly's perspective about this situation with Spice, because I feel like if you're saying you don't want no bad vibes, you can go into a space and not be and be around somebody and just keep it pushing. Because when Rashida called her over to take photos, Spice was like, oh, I'm not going over there. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you might want to protect your peace, but I don't know. I just be feeling like Spice be on one. You know what I'm saying? Like, ready to go at any moment. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard for me because I like Spice. And I just be rooting for her every time. Like we in a scene. I'm like, I'm let's go, Spice. Let's go. Okay. Ooh, okay, no. Like, anyway. So Kirk announces that he's taking the whole crew to the Bahamas. Yandy invites Amy Luciani. Sierra invites Rennie. Carly's going. Bambi and Scrap gonna go. So they're gonna basically get a house and then they're gonna get a hotel for some people, right? Spice is all about good vibes, good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. We learned that Spice still blames Shekinah for the Ponderosa with Erica. They have to describe this to the group down in, the Bahamas, and the black monkey thing comes up again, and it's like, everybody feels like now she didn't call us all black monkeys, right? I get how they feel. Did the word does it matter that she didn't use the term black monkey or not to you? Let me know in the chat. I just happened to notice that was something, and it could have been that we just didn't hear it. Okay? It doesn't mean that she didn't say it. It doesn't mean that she didn't say black. It just means that we didn't hear it. We definitely heard monkey. We definitely heard blue. So, but I did notice that, and I noticed people commenting about that as I was watching, like some commentary about the episodes. Did that matter to you? I want to know what your thoughts are. There's a dinner planned for the night. Sierra and Bam wonder if Spice is going to revisit the conversation about Erica. And we learned that there was a group chat between the girls, like Sierra, Bambi, and Erica, about the altercation with Spice. Do I believe that at any point in time after Sierra learned about that they had not spoken with Erica about it? That's hard for me to believe. It's hard for me to believe. Now, I get it. If that's your bestie, you might not want to share that you had you might have confronted your friend about what she said, right? It's just hard for me to believe that, because I would have been like, girl, did you call her? Like, I would have had to, like, it would have been immediate. I wouldn't have been, I don't care if you work in, friend. I need to know, because this is what the streets is saying. Because if this is what the streets is saying, then you think that about you. You clearly, we black too, okay? In case you did not know. So I would have to be like, friend, is this what you said? And is this what you think? Because I need to know right now. And I need to know because the world is going to know. And I need to be aware before the world know what your thing is. Like, what's going on with you? Why are you saying that? Why are you thinking that? I mean, and the same thing with Yandy. Yandy kept saying, well, I want to have a conversation with her. Is it that you wanted to have the conversation on camera, or that you needed to have a conversation, period? Because, see, to me, this extends beyond the camera, unless production and told y'all, we trying to make this into a moment, a teachable moment or something like that. I really don't know. But I would have, any of the people in that group could have reached out to Erica. It ain't have to just be Bambi and Sierra. They all a part of the cast. So I'm reaching out like, girl, like, we supposed to be good. Like, what's up? That's just me. It ain't gonna take me. I'm like, I just in my mind, I'm like, we gonna be on the show now. I need to know, did you say this or not? Because that's really gonna impact how I roll with you from now on. And I'm not gonna be left wondering in the dark next time I gotta go into a scene. Yeah, I talked to her, and yes, she said it. And I had to tell her, girl, I can't rock with you no more. Period. I did like that Spice checked in on Rennie and really offer her some support, and I think we'll maybe see more of that, and I want to see more of that. That's the side of Spice that I really love. I feel like she is a very maybe a very giving and genuine person, and maybe Carly did something to her that just like that took that generosity away, you know. Now, Yandy brings up whether or not Bambi spoke to Erica or not. And the way Bambi kept saying, yes, I did briefly had spoken, but she's working, haven't really spoken, like talking about, basically didn't ask her about this comment, this slur or anything like that because she's working so hard. It's a text message from me. It's real clear. Girl, did you call this woman a slur or not? I mean, tell me. Tell me. I need to know, friend. I know that you're working, but as long as you can respond to this text message, what did you say? Period. Now, does she have to share that with the group? Not really. It would probably be in her best interest to. However, Spice at that point, because Bambi is the one that seems to be talking at that moment, Spice says basically, oh, you haven't talked to your bestie, and she thinks they're being fake. Now, at this point, Bambi is like, who are you talking to? And Spice gets up and it's on and popping. Did Spice call her a giraffe? I'm just curious. Did Spice call Bambi a giraffe? I feel like I've heard that term being used in reference to her, either if it was online or if it was from Diamondale? Did she call her a giraffe? I could have swore Spice, but I know if she didn't call her a giraffe, I know she called her the BITCH several times, right? It really didn't look like Bam was trying to like fight Spice, but Spice was definitely up and at him. Here's my thing about Spice at this point. While I think she is making the show go round, okay, because she reacts to things, and while I don't mind her calling out fakery, if she feels it, what I also know to be true is if you have these incisions and things that you're recovering from, it's probably not a good idea for you to be putting yourself in situations that may require you to get physical with someone or to be held back. Because from what it seemed as though, it's like Bambi's still sitting down in her seat. You know, they challenging each other, but it definitely felt like to me like Spice was like ready to like throw some bows or whatever like that, because at one point it was like, well, I wasn't, it sounded like she says I wasn't talking to you, but who was you talking to? Because Bambi was the one that was talking, so I didn't understand it. And this goes back to my feeling, like, is it that the people just don't like Bambi for some reason? And if so, what have I missed in my time not recapping the show that I need to be caught up on specifically? And did you feel like Spice was extra spicy with her? Or did you feel like Spice was justified? Again, I don't mind on a reality TV show somebody calling out something that they feel like is fake, but it seemed like it went from 0 to 1,000 real quick. So anyway, like I said, let me know your thoughts down in the chatterization down below. I got to reiterate this because I know somebody's going to take it out of context. I've been doing this long enough to know that somebody's not going to watch something. They're not going to hear something. They're going to hear what they want to hear. Nothing about what Erica said to me. Nothing that Spice said justified what Erica said in terms of the racist comment. Okay. Do I think before that they both went low with each other? I do. I think that things were kicked off when Spice brought up, you know, the son allegedly not liking Erica. But did that warrant Erica to be or to say something racist? No, I do not. But I also feel like, you know, there can still be some accountability. And we still ain't got, and that's another, you know what's funny to me? Has anybody seen a statement from Erica in all of this? Like, speaking of, I mean, listen, if I'm going to, now that I think about it, if I'm holding Spice accountable, I've really got to, I mean, where is the accountability on Erica's behalf? Because let me go to her page. Is it still up? Listen, because I feel like if I had seen some type of apology or retraction or something like that, then it ain't posted nowhere. I don't see it. The last thing I see from her is August 25th. And it definitely ain't got nothing to do with what she said. What was the last day that the show came on? What was the night? What was that weekend? What was that week that she called her the slur? That had to be what, last week? So she says on the 25th, always be ready for people to switch up on you. Was that the day she was arrested that night? And then the episode aired on the 28th. Yup. So the last time she posted was the 25th. If I look on the gram, yeah. Where is her accountability in all of this? As what I mean, like that's really a thing too. Now that I really process it, when I mean, and I'm thinking about I think about accountability for the comments, the death, wishing death on her. Like there's got to be. I mean, if I got to hold both of them to the fire in that. Because she's not made no statements. She's not made a public apology. Ain't nothing been said. That's real strange to me. Don't y'all? I mean, isn't that strange? Is she not sorry? Like, where is she? Where is she? Now I'm rethinking everything. I don't know, y'all. Anyway, let me know what y'all think. If hopefully you made it to the end. This is such a complicated thing. Anyway, we'll continue to dissect it. Listen, and I will catch you all in the next video.